Yes, old man, start.
A dropper.
For 7 of us, oh.
But
Narrator?
it's whiskey. Sir, I'll tell.
Yeah.
But it's whiskey, my children. That's whiskey for you. The salon keeper from whom I booked. It will be a teetotaler from sheer despair.
Teetotaler means one who has given up consumption of alcohol or one who does not consume alcohol. Narrator, you have to read the words in brackets.
Opening the flask and smelling it. No, that's
This
that.
one, the
The
tragedian.
tragedian rises heavily and slowly proceeds towards the flask. The villain, still skeptical, rises as if unwilling. The old man chuckles and rubs his hands. The old man gets up indifferently and moves apathetically towards the flask. The heroine and ingenue hold each other by the hand and take ballet steps in waltz time. All approach the comedian with necks eagerly stretched out and smell the flask, which the comedian holds firmly in both hands.
Ho ho ho, fine.
Hey, hey, small quality, but excellent quality.
Villain. Who is playing the role of villain here? Anybody else quickly volunteer? Gautam, you only play the role of villain. Gautam Balaya.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Seems to be good whiskey.
Dancing and singing.
My comedian. His head is in the right place, but why didn't you nab a larger bottle?
Oh, beloved one, I had to take into consideration both the quality of the whiskey and the size of my pocket.
If only there is enough of it to go around.
Oh, I'm feeling sad again.
Cheer up, there will be enough for all of us. Cheer up, here, smell it again.
Okay, so this they are experiencing this enjoyment out of this stolen alcohol bottle. Continue.
They smile again and cheerfulness reappears. They join hands and dance and sing, forming a circle, the comedian applauding.
Good.
Comedian.
If you are so cheered after a mere smell of it, what won't you feel like after a drink? Wait, I'll join you. I'll show you a new roundel which we will perform in our next presentation of Hamlet to a great edification of our esteemed audience. The place is clear. Now for dance and play. Join hands and form a circle. But you, villain, stay on the outside of it. You are to try to get in and we dance and are not to let you in without getting out of step. Understand? Now then.
The circle is formed in the following order: comedian, heroine, tragedian, old woman, old man, and ingenue.
Okay, you should make a note of this circle sequence because we'll get a question on this. Since it's all MCQ based, they will ask the sequence. Who was the third person in the circle? You should say tragedian. Like that, you should know the sequence. You just focus on the first letters C, H, T, O, O, or O, M, I. So then it is easy for you people to remember. Continue.
To be or not to be? That is the question. That is the question. That is the question. He who would enter in, climb he must over us. If over he cannot, he must get under us.
So they have formed a circle and they are playing, and this comedian says, if anybody wants to enter the circle, either he has to get over under us. Then any narrator say this. Narrator, say these lines.
Tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la. Over us, under us, over us. Now we are jolly, jolly are we.
Okay, these words are said by everybody who are running around.
To be or not to be? That is the question. That is the question. That is the question. In life, to win success, Elbow your way through. Jostle the next one, else you will be jostled.
So here, what does the comedian says? He is trying to convey his opinion, saying that in life, if you want to be successful, you should overcome all difficulties. Elbow your way through means you should avoid all difficulties, or you should overcome all difficulties. If you don't, difficulties will overcome you. Narrator.
Tra-la-la, tra-la-la. Over us, under us, over us. Now we are jolly, jolly are we?
Continue.
On the last word of the refrain, they stop as if dumbfounded and stand transfixed. With eyes directed on one spot inside of the ring, the villain leans over the arms of the comedian and the heroine. Gradually, the circle draws closer till their hands almost touch.
Heads,
They attempt,
not hands, heads.
heads almost touch. They attempt to free their hands, but each holds on to the other, and all seven whispers in great astonishment.
Okay, see, you should visualize this. So everybody are feeling drowsy here. So while they are playing, all of them gaze at one particular point. What is that particular point? All of them are in a circle, okay, running around in a circle, and they are a single center point. They focus. So why do they focus there? Because they find a dollar there. Read it out.
$1. The circle opens up. Again, they look each at the other and shout in wonder. $1. Once more they close in, and the struggle to free their hands grows wilder.
Wilder.
Wilder. The villain tries to climb over and then under the hands into the circle and stretches out his hands towards the dollar. But instinctively he's stopped by the couple he tries to pass between. Even when he is not seen but only felt, again all lean their heads over the dollar, quite lost in the contemplation
of it. Contemplation means thinking about it. What all they can do with the dollar.
And whispering enraptured.
See, all of you can say dollar. Who all are the characters? You can pronounce it as dollar. So you can enact it.
Separating once again, they look at each other with exultation and at the same time try to free their hands, once more exclaiming in ecstasy.
So all of them are shocked and they are delighted to see dollar note. Okay, and they keep on contemplating, means thinking what all we can do with this dollar. How can we use this dollar that has got to them free of cost?
Then the struggle to get free grows wilder and wilder. The hand that is perchance freed is quickly grasped again by the one who held it.
Okay, here you can understand the comic aspect. So all of them are holding each other's hands and nobody is letting the other person, because if they let, that person will take that dollar. So everybody is catching hold of the other person in the circle. Continue. Ingenue.
Oh, my hands, my hands. You'll break them. Let go of my hands.
If you don't let go of my hands, I'll bite. Attempting to bite the hands of the tragedian and the old man while they try to prevent it.
So you should, again, factual questions, you should get to know whose hands did old woman intend to bite, tragedian and old man. Continue.
Let go of me. These women's hands that seem so frail. Just look at them now.
I think it's you who are holding fast to mine.
Why should I be holding you? If you pick up the dollar, what is yours is mine, you know.
Then let go of my hand and I'll pick it up.
No, I'd rather pick it up myself.
I expected something like that from you.
Let go of my hands, that's all.
So now all are fighting amongst themselves to free so that they can take hold of dollar note.
Ha ha ha, it's a huge joke. Be quiet. We must contemplate the dollar with religious reverence. Keep quiet, I say. A dollar is spread out before us.
So here comedian takes control of the situation. Okay, he in a commanding tone he says, all of you keep quiet, and we should appreciate we should think about the dollar with some religious respect. Then everybody stop mocking at him. Then he says, keep quiet, I say. Continue.
Keep quiet, I say. A dollar is spread before us, a real dollar in the midst of our circle, and everything within us draws us towards it, draws us on irresistibility. Be quiet. Remember, you are before the ruler, before the Almighty, on your knees before Him and pray.
So here comedian is referring or comparing the dollar to an almighty, and he says we all are in front of the Almighty and we should show some respect by kneeling before that dollar.
Sinks down on his knees and drags with him the heroine and the ingenue.
Okay, he's
Dropping
not
on
only
his
sinking down. See here, comedian not only bends down or knees down, but also makes heroine and ingenue knee down also. Continue.
dropping on his knees and dragging the old woman with him.
Ho, 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 clown.
You are not worthy of the serious mask you wear. You don't appreciate true divine majesty. On your knees, or you'll get no whiskey. O holy dollar, O almighty ruler of the universe, before thee we kneel in the dust and send toward thee our most tearful and heartful prayers.
Okay, thee here refers to you. So here he is addressing, comedian is addressing to dollar. He's saying, oh holy dollar, oh almighty ruler of the universe. Means he indirectly is trying to say, no matter whomever we call us as our rulers, ultimately it's the money that is ruling the world. Therefore he addresses like this: ruler of the universe, before you we kneel in dust and send towards you our most tearful and heartfelt prayers. Continue.
Our hands are bound, but our hearts strive towards thee, and our souls yearn for thee. O great King of kings, thou who bringest together those who are separated and separatest those who are near. Thou who.
Okay, these are all like philosophical life lessons that the comedian is indirectly trying to convey. He's trying to say, you are the ultimate ruler of the world. Okay, irrespective, the kings and queens may come and go, but money will always be there. Money will always have its value. And he says, you are the one who unites people, and you are the one who separates people. That is what he's trying to convey through these lines. O great King of kings, you who bring us together those who are separated. Money brings people together, right? Depending on the situation, and money also separates people together. So that is why he's calling dollar as the king of kings. Continue. See, you should also simultaneously think from a philosophical perspective and how we are placed in the present situation in terms of money. Though what all the author is trying to convey through the comedian or other characters have philosophical impacts. Continue. Narrator.
The villain who is standing aside takes a full jump, clears the ingenue and grasps the dollar. All let go of one another and fall upon him, shouting, screaming, pushing and fighting. Finally, the villain manages to free himself, holding the dollar in his right fist. The others follow him with clenched fists, glaring eyes, and foaming mouths, wildly shouting.
Okay, finally, this villain somehow manages to escape and grasp the dollar, and everybody are fighting amongst themselves. Continue.
You can't take it away from me. It's mine. It was lying under my bundle.
Give up the dollar, give up the dollar.
No, no. Moreover, whom should I give it to? To you? You?
So villain is asking, whom should I give this dollar to? Should I give it to the comedian or heroine or any other character?
Ha 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 ha. He is right. The dollar is his. He has it. Therefore, it is his. Ha 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 ha. And I wanted to crawl on my knees towards the dollar and pick it up with my teeth. Ha ha ha. But he got ahead of me. Ha 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 ha.
So comedian is trying to say, since he has the dollar now, since he is possessing the dollar, it belongs to him. because when 4 or 5 of them are fighting for $1, and out of them one of the person gets it through hook or crook. So the question, the solution that the comedian gives is it should go to the villain himself.
That's because you would not let go of me first.
Heaven and
Shaking his fist.
hell.
Tragedian,
Wish to
continue.
you continue.
Shaking his fist in the face of the villain.
Heaven and hell, I feel like crushing you.
He steps aside towards the trunk and sits down in his former pose. Ingenue, lying down on his grass, starts to cry.
Now we will drink. And the first drink is the villain's.
His proposition is accepted in gloom. The ingenue, however, stops crying. The old man and the old woman have been standing by the villain, looking at the dollar in his hand, as if waiting for the proper moment to snatch it from him.
See, here you should
Finally,
understand, irrespective of the age, people want money. That is the message that is conveyed. Old man and old woman are trying for a moment or waiting for a moment to snatch the dollar from the villain's hands. See, and one thing you should understand here, till here, they have not had a sip of that whiskey. They have just inhaled that flavor. So for the first time, they say the first drink will go to villain. Continue.
Finally, the old woman makes a contemptuous gesture and both turn aside from the villain. The latter, left in peace, smooths out the dollar. Second is scroll.
Yeah.
Okay. With a serious expression on his face, the comedian hands him a small glass of whiskey.
Drink, lucky one.
The villain, shutting the dollar in his fist, takes the whiskey glass gravely and quickly drinks the contents. Returning the glass, he then starts to smooth and carries the dollar again.
Carries the dollar again means he is very much delighted to have it. He takes care of it carefully.
Okay, the comedian, still laughing, passes the whiskey glass from one to the other of the company, who drinks sullenly. The whiskey fails to cheer them. After drinking, the ingenue begins to sob again. The heroine, who is served last, throws the empty whiskey glass towards the comedian.
Okay, so you should understand who is continuously crying. It is ingenue. You get a factual question. And towards whom the heroine is angry, it's towards the comedian, because comedian didn't let the heroine to take hold of the dollar. Continue.
Good shot. Now I'll drink up all that's left in the bottle.
Okay, what happens here? The heroine, instead of passing on the glass to the comedian, she throws it somewhere. Therefore, comedian says, I will not consume alcohol through glass, I will take the bottle itself.
He puts the flask to his lips and drinks. The heroine tries to knock it away from him, but he skillfully evades her. The villain continues to smooth and caress the dollar.
Caress the dollar means just touching the dollar across.
Ha ha ha. He who would enter in. Chum, he must enter us. Ho ho ho. O holy dollar, O almighty ruler of the world, O king of kings, ha ha ha. Don't you think don't you all think if I have the dollar and you have it, not that I partake a bit of its majesty? That means that I am now a part of its majesty. That means that I am the almighty dollar's plenipotentiary, and therefore I am the almighty ruler himself. On your knees before me. He.
So if you remember, these words, these lines were sung by everybody in a circle. Now villain is doing all by himself. So while doing this, he says, since you attach that religious reverence to dollar and you consider it as almighty, and since I have the dollar with me, don't you think I am the representative of the almighty? And don't you think I am the king himself? And don't you think you should kneel before me in respect? So he has all this poisonous aspects in his mind because he has a dollar with him. Continue.
After throwing away the empty flask, lies down on the grass.
Well rode, lion, but you forgot to hide your jackass's ears.
It is one's consciousness of power. He he he. I know and you know that if I have the money, I have the say. Remember, none of you has a cent to his name. The whiskey is gone.
I did my job well, drank it to the last drop.
Hmm. Villain.
Where?
Start from the first line. Villain.
Oh,
Yes to
sorry.
the last drop.
Yes, to the last drop. This evening you shall have bread and sausage. Very small portions too, for tomorrow is another day. Not till the day after tomorrow shall we reach town, and that doesn't mean that you get anything to eat there either. But he. Oh, holy dollar, almighty dollar. He who does my bidding shall not be without food.
Hmm.
What? Ha ha ha.
Ingenue gets up and throws herself on the villain's bosom.
Oh, my dear beloved one.
Haha, my power already makes itself felt.
Let go of him, you. He sought my love for a long time, and now he shall have it.
Okay, see, look at heroine's opinion now. So, this first ingenue tries to be friendly with the villain. Then the heroine pushes the ingenue the other side and says, "Villain was in love with me for a longer time, and now I offer my love towards him." That's what she means when she says, "He sought my love for a long time, and now he shall have it." So, why heroine is towards the villain is because villain is in possession of dollar. Hmm.
What? You?
I hate you, traitor. I have always loved genius. You are now the wisest of the wise. I adore you.
Come into my other arm.
Narrator, you should
Stop.
read
I
the words
protest.
within the brackets. Only then they will get to know. They can visualize. Narrator, read the words in brackets.
Half rising on his knees,
Comedian,
Stop. I protest.
throwing himself on the grass,
Oh, fragility, thy name is woman.
frailty. Frailty means
Reality. Okay.
fickle mindedness. So, comedian half raising on his knees, "Stop, I protest." So, here what happens? Villain has ingenue on the one hand and heroine on the other hand. Then, comedian says, "I protest this," and he addresses this to the heroine. "Oh, frailty, thy name is woman," means fickle mindedness is the name of woman, he says. Comedian. Hmm.
approaching the villain from behind and embracing him.
Find a little spot on your bosom for me. I play the old woman, but you? No, I'm not really old.
Okay, so now old woman also comes. So you should visualize on the one hand, villain has ingenue, on the other heroine. Then the old woman also comes and says, "Give me some space in your heart for me." And though I am an old woman, I am not that old, he says.
Now I have all of power and all of love.
Don't call it love. Call it servility.
Servility means what? Servility means servitude. Servitude means a kind of slavery. So comedian says, don't call this as love towards you, call it as slavery. Since you have money, people are behind you. Hmm.
Freeing himself from the woman,
But now I have something more.
Hmm.
Something more important to carry out. My vassals, I mean you all, I have decided we will not stay here overnight. We will proceed further.
How so? Continue.
We go forward tonight.
So you have so decided.
I have so decided, and that in itself should be enough for you. But due to an old habit, I shall explain to you why I have so decided.
Keep your explanation to yourself and better not disturb my contemplation of the sunset.
I put you down on the blacklist. It will go ill with you for your speeches against me. Now then, without an explanation, we will go. And at once? Very well then, I go alone.
Somebody play the role of woman here.
Arham was the woman.
Aram was the woman.
Where is he?
Sir, I was a stranger. Sir, I was a stranger.
Turn on your videos, all of you. Sanika, play the role of women here.
Sir, from no.
Yes.
No.
What do you mean?
I go with you.
And I.
And I.
Who is sitting up? Sorry.
Your loyalty gratifies me very much.
Who is sitting apathetically upon the trunk?
What the deuce is urging to you to go?
I wanted to explain it to you, but now no more. I owe you no explanations. I have decided I wish to go, and that is sufficient.
See, here you can see the transformation. Earlier, each one of them justified the act of whether to proceed further to the nearest town or not through explanations. Now, since villain has this money, dollar with him, he decides. And he says, I don't owe any explanation to anybody.
He plays his comedy wonderfully. Would you ever have suspected that there was so much more wit in this cabbage head?
So here he calls villain's head as a cabbage head.
Making love to the villain?
Oh, you darling.
Majestically.
I wouldn't give him even a single glance.
So only tragedian is overtly expressing his opposition towards the villain. He says, I wouldn't give him even a single glance.
Still another on the blacklist. I'll tell you this much. I have decided.
Okay, who all are in the blacklist now? First person in the blacklist of villain is, first one is comedian and second one is tragedian. Continue.
How long will you keep this up?
We start at once, but if I am to pay for your food, I will not carry any baggage. You shall divide my bundles among you, and of course, those who are on the blacklist will get the heaviest share. You heard me. Now move on. I'm going now. We will all proceed to the nearest town, which is 30 miles away. Now then, I'm off.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage means happy journey.
And with me, fare His Majesty the dollar and your meals for tomorrow.
Continue. Women.
We are coming.
I'll go along.
To the villain?
You're a scoundrel and a mean fellow.
I am no fellow of yours. I am master and bread giver.
I'll crush you in a moment.
What? You threaten me? Let's go.
He turns to right. The women take their satchels and follow him. To the tragedian?
Old man.
Get up and take the trunk. We will settle the score with him some other time. It is he who has the dollar.
So here you should understand how people are forced to respect another people just because others have money with them. See, this is universal even today. This is applicable even today, isn't it? Continue.
Rising and shaking his fist.
I'll get him yet.
He takes his slide to the trunk.
Okay, so this comedian and tragedian are against the villain because of his changed perception. However, they decide to take revenge at some other time. Okay, but for the moment, they decide to carry the luggage of the villain.
To tragedian.
First, put one of my bundles on your back.
Enraged.
One of your bundles on my back?
Oh, for all I care, you can put it on your head or between your teeth.
Okay, villain, you can use, you can change the tone. You can use an authoritative tone. Devameta is doing well. Okay? Similarly, you are an authority now. You have assumed that you have dollar with you and other people are follow your words.
We will put the bundle on the trunk.
Sitting up.
Look here, are you joking or are you earnest?
Contemptuously.
I never joke.
Then you are in earnest.
I'll make no explanations.
Do you really think that because you have the dollar,
The holy dollar, the almighty dollar, the king of kings,
Now your tone is good.
that therefore you are the master
bread giver and provider,
and that we must?
do what I bid you to?
So you are in earnest.
You just get up, take the baggage, and follow me.
Then I declare a revolution.
What? A revolution?
A bloody one, if need be.
Dropping his end of the trunk and advancing with a bellicose attitude toward the villain.
And I shall be the first to let your blood. You scoundrel.
If that's the case, I have nothing to say to you. Those who wish, come along.
Getting in his way.
No, you shall not go until you give up the dollar.
Haha, it is to laugh.
The dollar, please, or
Hee hee hee.
then let there be blood.
Turns up his sleeves, taking off his coat.
Ah, blood, blood.
You visualize, all of you visualize. It's very funny.
Dropping
So now-
his end of the trunk.
Yes, sir. Very
Sorry,
funny.
sir.
The blood is coming. What?
I'm not going to keep out of the fight.
Dropping their satchels.
Nor we, nor we.
To whom shall I give up the
Shouting.
dollar? You.
This argument will not work anymore. You are to give the dollar up for all of us. At the first opportunity, we'll get change and divide it into equal parts.
Okay, now this is what comedian suggests. So you can't have the authority throughout. We will get the change and divide it equally amongst ourselves. Now, who all were in favor of this villain? Now,
Me.
see, the tide has shifted. So all of them start demanding the share. Continue.
Hooray, hooray, divide it, divide it.
To villain.
And I will be so good as to give you a share.
I'd rather give him a sun thrashing.
It shall be as easy as it shall be as I say. Give up the dollar.
Throwing herself on the comedian's breast.
My comedian, my comedian.
See how heroine keeps on shifting her loyalty towards different people. Okay.
Sir, how much is left?
2 more pages. Shall we complete it?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Please. Let's do it.
Complete it. Only 2 more. Okay, continue.
To the villain.
I'm sick of you. Give up the dollar.
Pushing the heroine aside.
You better step aside, or else you may get the punch. I aim at the master and bread giver. Come up with the dollar.
Give up the dollar to him, do you hear?
Then
The
everybody
dollar,
shout.
the dollar.
The dollar.
I'll tear it to pieces.
Then we shall tear out what little hair you have left on your head. The dollar, quick.
They surround the villain. The women pull his hair. The tragedian grabs him by the collar and shakes him. The old man strikes him on his bald pate. The comedian struggles with him and finally grabs the dollar.
So now you get the physical appearance of the villain, that is bald.
I have it.
The women dance and sing.
Bandits, thieves.
Silence or I'll shut your mouth.
Goes back to the trunk and assumes his heroic pose. Putting the dollar into his pocket.
That's what I call a successful and a bloodless revolution. Except for the little fright and heart palpitation on the part of the late master and bread giver. Listen, someone is coming. Perhaps he'll be able to change the dollar and then we can divide it at once.
Okay, so he calls this as a successful and bloodless revolution. Except for a little fright, means this villain was a bit afraid and he had some heartbeat fluctuations. Usually when your blood pressure rises, you experience that.
I am puzzled how we can change it into equal parts.
Starts to calculate with the ingenue and the old women. Tenderly attentive to the comedian.
You were angry with me, but I was only playing with him so as to wheedle the dollar out of him.
Comedian.
And now you want to trick me out of my share of it?
It is impossible to divide it into equal parts. It is absolutely impossible. If it were 98 cents or 105 cents or
The stranger enters from the right, perceives the company, greets it, and continues his way to the left.
So now
Comedian
we are in a
stops him.
part of confusion. How are you going to divide dollar equally amongst all of us? Now a concept called as Deus ex machina, right? When you are finding it difficult to find a solution, some external force offers you a solution. Continue. Comedian.
I beg your pardon, sir. Perhaps you have the change of $1 in dimes, nickels, and pennies.
Showing the dollar, the old man and woman step forward, getting slightly nervous, starts somewhat, makes a quick movement for his pistol pocket, looks at the comedian and the others, and says slowly,
Stranger.
Arham.
Anybody play the role of stranger? Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Moving
No,
from the
before that-
circle.
No. He
I
read good
believe
night.
I have from here. I believe I have.
I believe I have.
Hooray.
Turns so that no one is behind him and pulls his revolver.
Comedian.
My dear sir, we are altogether peaceful folk.
The stranger takes the dollar from the comedian's hands and walks backwards to left with the pistol pointed at the group.
Good night, everybody.
He disappears. The actors remain dumb with fear, with their hands up, mouths wide open and staring into space. Finally breaks out into thunderous laughter.
Ha.
You read it
What
wrong.
happens? Finally, some stranger
You can
takes
read
away
it if
the
you want.
dollar. Okay, and only the comedian is able to take the life lightly. Okay, and he is